Hi students, today we're going to look and analyze mission statements to identify the life cycle of a business as well as help with decision making. What do mission statements reveal about the business? Mission statements are not just slogans, they show what a business prioritizes above everything else. Some of the common priorities would be growth. This looks at expanding the business, scaling up, or increasing their market share. Next is customer focus, where the business looks at service quality, user experience, and satisfaction. Then we look at sustainability and ethics, where businesses are looking at their environmental impact, fair trade, and social responsibility. Another priority is innovation, where businesses are looking at adopting new technology, increasing research and development, and being the first to market. Another common priority is cost leadership. This is where a business aims to lead by providing low prices, being affordable, and operating efficiently. Now, how do we interpret the patterns from a mission statement? Firstly, you need to spot the keywords. You can look at repeated words such as innovative, affordable, or sustainable for the business. Next, we're looking at the target audience. The business needs to know who their market is, who are they targeting. And then we're looking at the value proposition. This shows what makes the business different. Is it looking at speed, quality, price, or exclusivity? Is the business in a niche market? Next, we're looking at the time frame. Is the mission statement looking at immediate current needs or long-term vision? Now, how does this look like for life cycle? How does it affect the life cycle? So in the startup stage of a business, it's more about proving the business model. So for a startup business, they're looking at customer acquisition, which is finding loyal customers to build up the profit and the database and the brand. Next, we're looking at cash flow. The business at the startup stage is very heavily dependent on cash flow. So they need to ensure that money is coming in to cover the business costs. This is where customers are very important. Next is brand awareness, in making sure that the business is increasing its awareness, that people are aware of what the business is and what the business does. And then we've got operations. For a startup business, the business needs to make sure that the basic product or service works really well. A mission focus in a startup business is often on survival and validation. Now, what about a business that is in the growth stage of the life cycle? The business at the growth stage is looking at scaling the business model. So they're looking at being efficient, doing more with less waste, and its capacity, being able to handle increased volume of sales, as well as systems and tech. So when we're looking at efficiency, we're looking at systems and technology. How do we automate the processes in order to save the business time? With the growth model, the business needs to hire more people. This is building a stronger, bigger team as well as the business culture. And then with the growth stage of the model, the business is looking at competition. The business has to fight for increased market share by expanding in order to grow the business. Now, if you have a look at the growth stage business, the mission focus shifts to dominance and optimization. So increasing the market share as well as doing things more efficiently and effectively. Now let's have a look at the decision-making process. Firstly, you have to identify the problem, followed by gathering information. And then from there, you are generating options and evaluating those options. And then next, you are deciding which options to choose from, and then justifying why you have chosen that option. And then from there, we are implementing the option, and then monitoring and reviewing the result. So first is identifying and gathering. You have to identify the problem or the opportunity and collect data. The business then has to consult stakeholders and scan the environment. And the next, the business has to generate and evaluate. This is where the business brainstorms multiple options and assess them against business criteria such as cost, risk, return on investment. Now, assessing them, this is where your 4 different business criteria comes in, as well as your SWOT analysis. And then you look at deciding, acting, and reviewing. This is where a choice has to be made and justified. And then the plan is implemented and monitoring and reviewing for future improvements. Now, let's have a look at practicing what you just learned into business situations so that you know how to apply and use these skills in your upcoming exam.